My name is Belay. I'm the General Coordinator of the Alliance for Food Sovereignty in Africa. When we organized this first meeting, we didn't have ground level experience. Now the project is running in 4 African countries. 2 more African countries would hopefully be added in the future. But from these 4 African countries, we have learned quite a lot. How do you organize territorial markets? And also, how do you really reach out into the agroecological entrepreneurs and bring them together and get the field a little bit higher? Would be the major discussions that we are going to have. And we didn't have that much discussion around financing agroecological entrepreneurship in territorial markets. I think what's different this time is also a comprehensive report is out from IPS Food. And they based their report on what AFSA did before, on territorial markets. So these 2 new publications, which got attention by so many in the field, will bring in a lot of information to the meeting, and they will raise the level of the discussion on territorial markets. And what is also different is I think increasingly most consumers are going towards agroecologically produced food. The level of agroecological discussion, understanding is up, and people are exploring what avenue to use to promote agroecology. We've started agroecological entrepreneurship because we wanted to explore how the power of the market can alleviate the discussion towards agroecology or support the transition to agroecology. So that discussion is now wide and it's happening. There's a lot of actors do not know how to make it happen. So in our discussions related to policy, related to financing, related to mobilizing the base, related to research would add a lot of value now. And that's in addition to the understanding and the significance of territorial markets will be. By the way, the IPS Food and AFSA will launch the IPS Food research on territorial markets. This is the 5th one. The first one was very critical, and it focused on identifying narratives, the narratives of the industry. The second one was on territorial markets. Third one has a lot of things, and out of that, our work on food policy has come out. The 4th one was on the cultural significance of a food system agenda. On this one, I think we're going to look more deep into the My Food is African campaign. And also, I think we are going to explore what are the blockages that are happening. From the first one up to the 5th one, a lot of things have happened in the policy area. It's almost 10 years. So in these 10 years, what has happened? I think that's the most important question. In answering that question is also reorienting AFSA's strategy on the work of the food system. Because the food system agenda, more than any other time, is high up. Even when you go to the climate discussions, UNFCCC, food system agenda is so high up. In Dubai during COP28, a lot of bilateral and international signatures have happened relating food systems to the climate. So the climate space is the most political space, as you know, in any of the negotiations. So food system agenda is appearing in climate policy spaces. So what we are going to do is also to explore the opportunities now that is created in the CBD, the Convention on Biological Diversity, and also the UNFCCC, the climate negotiations. What is the agenda? What's there? How can we use these avenues being created to push the food system agenda? My Food is African has 2 what do you call it, pillars. One of the pillars is the advocacy work, advocacy work, which includes organizing, motivating the base, and also influencing policy. So that's advocacy side of it. But this one is also advocacy. The second leg is on mobilizing knowledge and also celebration. You see? So this is the very critical arm, and personally that excites me more than the policy work. Policy work is very dry. Celebration, you can do policy and it's beautiful. That's where you find your African feeling being nurtured, in celebrations. Because we have quite a lot, and you see it going out of your sight, and it's eroding this culture. So Zimbabwe, they were having this seed and food celebration for a long time. We never participated, but we used to see photos. So the seed celebration, I'm sure, will bring hundreds of seeds out from the farmers and will demonstrate to the world that we still have our seeds. And these seeds are challenged, by the way, hugely. The food celebration is very much related to My Food is African. Because one thing, for example, there is a chef there in Zimbabwe who is using this cultural ingredients to produce really exciting food, And next year we are hoping to bring African chefs together. So that will be also, the initiation of something that's going to happen in the future. So I'm really excited when going to Zimbabwe. It's a very fascinating country for me at so many levels. But the celebration is at the heart of My Food is African. Because I did participate in the post-Malabo process, and I was hugely disappointed how everything is turning into industrial agriculture in the name of development, in the name of moving forward. So my hope of finding in Zimbabwe is that a number of actors will come. Zimbabwe and the food and seed celebration in Zimbabwe would bring something. So the discussion around agroecological entrepreneurship, around territorial markets, a critical agenda, a global critical agenda. The discussion around our food systems in the celebration, all of them together will come as a crescendo, and it will produce a statement, informed by the people's knowledge and people's mobilization. And this is very significant where we stand. Because I don't think African elites, those coming from universities, and African governments are really understanding the value of African food and what needs to happen. So we will identify the challenges that we are having, and we'll identify also the solutions. Because AFSA is both a fighting organization, with entities who are trying to monopolize our food system, our seeds and food and everything, and it's a solution providing group well in advance. It's not me saying this, it's others are saying it. In so many ways, AFSA is in advance of moving the issue of agroecology in Africa. So this is a very critical meeting for us. AFSA as an entity is a farmers group, fisher folks, pastoralists, indigenous people, civil society, and some government. AFSA is everyone. AFSA is Africa. You see? So our agenda is not an organization agenda. It's an agenda for everyone. I think that's the realization that's coming all over Africa now. So everybody has to engage, whether they are government, whether they are business, whether they are university students, or housewife. Everybody's agenda is AFSA's agenda. We didn't bring this agenda out of nowhere. It has come from the people of Africa. So government should pay attention because they have the capacity to scale up, and make it into a policy and leave it into for perpetuity. So we are trying to stop the bleeding of Africa. Africa is bleeding. We're losing We're losing the soul of Africa. The soul of Africa is in its seed, in its food. We're losing it. So we have to stop that bleeding. And everybody should support that.